All right, good morning, guys. We are back out at this tree clearing job. You can see. I'm gonna hop in the excavator and get her fired up and let her warm up a little bit. I'm gonna try to get this done because we have pretty good storm coming in. The wind chill's in the teens right now, and they're talking about sustained winds of 45 to 50 mile an hour and snow. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be kind of nasty. So I want to get out here and get this done, you know, before all that hits. And so anyway, I'm going to hop out, get that thing fired up, and let her warm up, get her juices flowing, and then we're going to work our way on down this we're going to work our way on down the line down there to his driveway. We'll have to be careful again. We got power lines, and we got some big old trees, and we've got a 45 mile an hour wind. So I'm going to have to be careful and kind of get me a game plan together, and then and see. So anyway, let's go fire her up. It's already starting to snow. I'm just looking around here. I always try to look things over. There you go. This thing's kind of weird. You turn the key on, it'll say engine preheat. It'll flash a couple times. That's it. This thing absolutely starts like a champ in the cold weather. It's amazing. Get a little heat flowing. Let her sit here and warm up. I don't have all that far to go. It's less than what I done yesterday. So anyway, well, we'll let her warm up a little bit, and we'll be back with you. Maybe. Alrighty, what we're gonna do is let's go down through here, and I'm just gonna kind of like I did over here. I'm just gonna go and kind of pull, try to get what, you know, little roots and stuff there, and kind of work down this ditch. Ultimately, I'm gonna have to bring the 850. In, and you know, and final grade this. But right now I just want to get it so that it doesn't hold any water per se, and until it'll get dry enough where I can get the 850 in here. So anyway, that's what I'm gonna do, is work my way back, then we'll start taking more trees out. So girls like me, when she's cold, she doesn't want to work very kind of slow. That's why I'm not pushing real hard. Just gonna get off down here in the edge of this ditch a little bit. yesterday that oh, good grief, that's a deep one. That old ditch was really wet. Said I'm not trying to final grade this ditch, I'm just wanting to kind of scrape it a little bit. That'll be that much less than I have to try to fight with a dozer. Because the cleaner your ground is, the quicker you'll go with that dozer. You don't have to fight a bunch of... That's why I always try to take the loader and sweep up any debris or any rocks or any roots, because that dozer just balls everything up, and when it comes to roots and stuff. I got nice smooth dirt, I can do a heck of a job trying to get her final graded. As long as everything is smooth and I don't have to fight a bunch of dang. Majority of this, I didn't really pull anything off of this, so I won't have to worry about so much about trying to grade. Although I probably will, when I get the 850 over here, I'll probably go down through and try to grade a little bit of this anyway. start pulling on that one. On these double trees like that, when you start pulling on one, it'll actually force the other one. So if you're pulling on this one, it'll actually force them, and it'll push the other tree over, and it'll spiral lines there. So I'm going to go in and yank all these limbs off here, just in case I'm going to hit a dump truck. This way. I don't want to get it in that line. Well, see if I can get down on the road, get these two laid over, and maybe I won't get KO'd by a dump truck flying through here. Spin there. Spinner, well, set back up here. said, that's a problem with the still going. These old double trees. If I'd have tried to pull that one to me, it would have just pushed the other one right towards the that's the reason why I don't. Alright guys, remember me earlier talking about those double trees and how I could have pulled that one to me, but if I did, it was going to push the other one away, which was going to go into the power line. Well, I've got an example right here, and I'll show you. These trees are smaller, so it's not going to hurt anything, but I'll show you what happens when you pull one and they're a double and you pull one. I'll show you what happens to the other. So watch this when I pull this one tree that I broke off to me. Watch the little tree. See right there? And these trees are farther apart. And see how it's wanting to push away from me? Those two that were real close together, it would have been tenfold the movement on the other tree. But anyway, I just wanted to show you why that when you got a double tree like that, you've got to almost take them both out at the same time, or if you don't, I mean, if you're in the middle of a wide open field, it doesn't matter. But if you're here next to a roadway or any utilities or anything like that, you have to be careful when you got a double tree. They can also come back at you if you're not careful as well. So, man, it's really starting to snow. So again, you've got to be careful with the double tree. I mean, they can really do damage. So just be careful with those. I don't know if I'll get any outside action for this or not. I don't know. I don't have too much farther to go, but back and hit me. Like I said, I may get done about the time it starts really getting in here, because it's supposed to, I mean, it's supposed to really come in. Blizzard, I mean, there's not going to be enough snow to cause any issues as far as drifting goes or anything like that, but there could be some trees, the way they were talking, there could be some trees affected, stuff like that. goodness. Yeah, because when I go to start pulling that one back, that other one's gonna go. So looks like I'll be getting out on the road again. doing here is why you want a pin-on thumb, not a welded on. And you want a good quality one. Otherwise, you're gonna tweak your thumb, and that's why I really didn't want to go with a weld-on, thumb. And what I'm meaning by weld-on is instead of the outside of instead of the thumb pinning onto the main pin, the main bucket pin, the weld-ons will, about where that plate is behind the cylinder, they'll weld on right there, and then the thumb will pin on there. So your thumb is welded on, and all of your force is on an area this big, not to mention the twisting and stuff that's on that plate on the stick. And that's why these pin-on thumbs that pin onto the main pin are so much better, because you don't have near the leverage is spread out. You don't have all that tweaking on that one area like this. So, but you pay for that, so they're more expensive. And I looked at a couple of machines that had the non-pin-on style thumb, and yeah, granted they're cheaper, but they're not. I mean, you kind of get what you pay for on this stuff, and some of this stuff you just don't want to skimp on. And I'm not saying the non-pin-on type, I'm not saying those are bad by any means. And they would probably work fine. You would just be a little bit more limited, and you'd have to be careful. You couldn't snap these 6-inch trees off. And well, that's the boss. That was the boss, and I mean the wife. Anyway, I've got to get this thing. Anyway, about the whole thumb thing. So, again, I'm not everybody, can do that type of thumb, and I get it. But I guess what I'm trying to say is if you can, you're a lot better off to go that route. It's just a more stable platform. It's a much more stable platform and stronger platform. which, the guy I'm working for today, he called me the other day, and that pond is, you know where that, I don't know if you remember which video, but you'll have to look for it. But when I was working on this pond or redoing it and making it wider and working the spillway over so it would have more depth, we dug out the overflow pipe, which was either a 4 or 6 inch, I can't remember now, PVC laid in there at an angle, and the water was running down that pipe or coming out around that pipe on the back side of the dam, on the discharge side. So the pipe set in the dam, like if here's the dam, the pipe set in like this, and so anyway, that's not the best way to do it. And again, I'm not going to cut down anybody's work. I mean, I don't know all the circumstances, but anyway, not the way I would have done it, but that doesn't mean that it's wrong. So anyway, the guy I'm working for now, pulling these trees out, called me, and he was concerned because since I was last here, that pond's probably raised up, well, I'm gonna say good 3 foot anyway, maybe even a little bit more. And that water is leaking on the backside of the dam again, like it did before. And matter of fact, there's water coming out of that pipe on the discharge side, and we capped that pipe off inside the dam. So I dug back on the dam, we capped that pipe off, and now apparently there's water running out of the pipe. So that means that pipe's fractured someplace inside the dam. So I've had to do this before, but I told him, you know, let's wait and see. But instead of, because the only real way to do that is to, I mean, you got to find where your source, where your leak is at, and you got to start digging back. That's the only real way to do that, because we don't know. And see, I pointed out to him when we dug into that dam, there's not much clay at all in that dam. And I'm gonna say he probably didn't core the dam side, or the, you know, where the dam's gonna be. Probably didn't core it out. So are we leaking between the dam and the virgin ground where the dam was stacked on top of? Are we leaking there? Is the hydrostatic pressure pushing water through there, which would coincide with the backside of the dam and about the level? But why is that water coming through that pipe? Well, that pipe's fractured somewhere in the dam, because we capped it, and we dug that back 8 foot inside that dam and then capped it. And then I dumped dirt around it and everything. We compacted it, and then then I ran on the inside of the dam with the dozer. I ran on the inside of the dam with the dozer to compact that. So I'm going to say more than likely that there's probably multiple things going on. I'm going to say that it's leaking at the seam, and then I'm going to say that there's a hole in the face of that dam someplace around where that pipe was at, and that pipe's fractured, and that's why it's running out that pipe as well. because that water is not, well, first of all, like I said, we capped that pipe, so that water is not going to be, that water is not going to be pushing 8 foot back inside that dam. And doing that, there's got to be a hole someplace. So I told him to go get some bentonite and just broadcast it out into the pond and along the face of the dam. And then sometimes you can get by with that, and I've actually had that happen. We broadcasted on a new pond that we built, but that pond got a huge influx of water, about 10 inches in a day and a half. We cored that dam, and it had a good, oh, I don't know, 3 foot of clay on the inside of the dam. But the dam started leaking right down at where the seam would be. So and he was concerned, as I understood, I would be too. But I suggested for him to go get some granulized bentonite, like you could get at a farm store, and start broadcasting it out there into the water and right next to the dam, which he did. And then about a month later it quit leaking. So, and that's what I suggested here. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but it doesn't hurt to try, instead of having to come back out and redig that, you know, because we'll have to bust that hole, then we'll have to bring some clay in, because there's not enough clay in that dam to utilize. So we'll have to bring some clay in to bring some clay in, like I said. We'll have to bring some clay in so that we can right close that pedestal out like that to repack in that dam. She's snowing. Ooh. I'm sure he's going to want me to pull that post. So I guess I'll work my way down in there and see if I can pull that post without pulling the cable out of the ground. Cut the brush around that pedestal. I don't know how deep those line is. I've seen them lines be just right underneath the dirt. Well, guys, I'm done. I'm done with the excavator. I do have to bring the 850 back to finish this up as far as grading, but as you can see, there won't be no grading in the near future. But all the way down to where he's at with his pickup, all the way down there, Here comes the guys with the dump trucks again. But all in all, let's see, 33, about 7.5 hours, and that's I think that's a little over a quarter, or right at a quarter, so not too bad. Like I said, I do have to bring the 850 back to final grade it, but anyway, well, I'm done for this one, and I'm gonna get out of here, go home, go grab something to eat, and you know, we'll worry about it when the weather chills out a little bit. My truck, my cab over low boy's not going to be done until next week. They had to order brakes for the trailer, and they're kind of a hard to find brake, so it'll be next week sometime on it. So anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that subscribe button in the lower right hand corner. Pass the word on, leave comments, and guys, we'll catch you probably back out here.